Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Estate Planning Expert Series, a live show where I interview financial advisors who are making estate planning part of their practice. And today I'm joined by Tim and Alexis Woodward, the husband and wife co-founder of Blend Wealth. Their firm offers a truly comprehensive approach to wealth management, including personal and business CFO services, wealth management, business advisory, and the support of an in-house team of CPAs. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is truly blending tax, wealth, and estate planning all in one business. And Tim and Alexis are just fabulous. They're both on the Trust and Will contributor panel. So you've probably seen some of their content come out in the Trust and Will Learn Center. They're awesome to collaborate with. And I'm so excited to have them because this is the first time that I'm having a husband and wife duo have an interview with me at the same time. So Tim and Alexis, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Diana.
All right, so where are you two dialing in from? Everyone knows I'm in Tampa, but where are you dialing in from?
We are in good old Indianapolis, Indiana.
Love it. Okay, I've always loved Indianapolis just because my name is in Indianapolis. So I've always felt that's like the only connection that I have to Indianapolis. So it's always had a place in my heart.
Yeah, most people think about the race or basketball.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Most people, right? I'm not most people. Okay, so you are the first couple that we've had on this show together. So I have to start. What inspired the two of you to build Blend Wealth together?
Yeah, so Tim had he had tried to buy into several different firms in the past, and it didn't work out for various reasons. But when the idea came about, he was in mid-conversations with the firm he was at, talking about buying in to that company. And we were actually sitting in church one day, and our pastor gave a message on the importance of Christian leadership in the community. And it was in that moment that I really felt the idea was put on my heart that Tim and I should start our own company together. And the calling, the sense of urgency was so strong. I remember it. And I immediately left that service and I talked to Tim. I was like, hey, what do you think if we just did this on our own? Yeah. And he was a former engineer, more risk adverse than me. And he literally looked at me and said, that sounds like a terrible idea. And we always laugh about it now because we think it was a great idea. And and we always get asked, how do you work with your spouse? That would be so difficult, but it's just always made sense to us. We genuinely love what we do. We love building something together. And we really wanted our personal and professional lives to be aligned rather than being two ships passing in the night. So we got married and we launched Blend Wealth right after we got married, and we've been working together ever since.
I love that. And when did you launch? When was that?
We launched October 1st of 2021.
Wow. Okay. So you're still within the first, almost 5 years now of the firm.
Yeah. Coming up on the 5-year mark here.
Well, I'm impressed because when you go to your website, which of course I always do all of my homework, you give off this feeling that you've been at it for a lot longer, that you have just everything under one roof. You've got a great team page. You've got good marketing, good positioning. So I'm inspired by both of you. And I love the idea of working with your spouse. That's always been a dream that I've had as well. So I love seeing that happen and doing it so well. And, I would assume with that, you both bring different strengths and weaknesses and perspectives to the table. So I'm curious, as you work with clients, and I'm not sure if you totally work with clients together or you just kind of have separate clients, or everyone, is involved in the client process in your firm. How do you divide or blend roles when navigating conversations with your clients about legacy and family wishes, decision-making?
When we first started, we both actually attended every client meeting together. Tim naturally gravitated more towards the quantitative questions. Tell me about your income, assets, tax structure, all of the technical details. Yeah. And I was naturally gravitated more towards what excites you. Tell me about your goals. How do you want your life to feel? And I think that created a very holistic, comfortable experience for the clients. But our business has really grown quickly over the last couple of years. And so our roles have completely changed. It seems like every 6 months things are changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Like basically, we have a rolling whiteboard at home, and I can't tell you how many times we just go to the whiteboard and map stuff out. So, like Alexis is correct, we did everything as a team, and then eventually we got so many clients, we really had to start growing, and so we couldn't be in every meeting, and so we started asking ourselves, who is good at what, and what energizes you. And it was very, very clear that Alexis is very passionate about the qualitative things. She loves the vision, the mission. She operates 5 years in advance, and she cares about the culture and the team. I am a nerd. I'm chief nerd. I just love crunching numbers and putting them in plain English, and I don't know what I'm doing next week. And so it became very quickly a realization for us both that if she would look ahead and just look up and tell us where the market's going, tell us what the future holds, tell us what other firms are doing and what other industries are doing that we should do. If she would give me the to-do list, I loved executing. And so that's kind of how we've divided the roles, and it's worked out pretty well going forward, with her being the visionary, me being the implementer.
It truly is the perfect complement. So that idea was an amazing idea, as you've already said. So that is awesome that you both bring just these different talents to the table, right? And to me, that's what makes the best advisory firms out there, is they're blending these different talents together and doing it in a way where you have a client that goes through this process and they're getting the best of almost everyone there, right? In their own way. Now, you have CPAs on staff, which is, I literally wrote in my notes, I love this about your firm, because I think more advisory firms need CPAs on their staff. And this is not an interview about tax, but it becomes part of the process of estate planning, right? It adds another layer to your planning process. So how does having tax expertise in-house enhance the way that you approach estate planning and comprehensive wealth management for your clients?
Sure. I believe, my personal conviction is, a multidisciplinary approach is where the industry is heading. And we're seeing that in different ways. We're seeing wealth management firms add estate plans. We're seeing accounting firms add wealth management, wealth management firms adding tax. And so everything is kind of merging together. And technology is making that merger happen with less ease and at a faster pace. And so we never created a wealth management firm because we wanted to incorporate estate plans. We never made a wealth management firm because we wanted to incorporate tax. What we do want to do, what our heart is, to serve our clients as best as we can. Yeah. And so at first we kind of partnered with CPAs in the early stages with varying degrees of success to offer tax services. But everyone the feedback was, we love how we work with you. We wish we could work with other professionals the same way. And as we just grew, we decided to invest in that and bring tax in-house. There's a lot of fantastic CPAs out there, but when we could control the client experience, and now the clients have one firm point of contact for more than just investments, it really adds a lot of value to their life, and it really enriches the firm. It allows us to work with fewer clients, but go a lot deeper.
Yeah. Anything you would add to that, Alexis, just on the aspect of how the tax and the estate planning kind of come together at any point?
I think just as much as we can quarterback those processes for our clients, the better, and the more stress it takes off of their plate.
Absolutely. That's so well said. And that's one of the things I like the most about technology, like a trust and will, is it, like you said, you didn't set out to build this whole estate tax, you built a wealth management firm because that's where your talent is. That's what you're good at. But when you can tap into powerful technology that'll help you build out these other arms that people really want, they really want everything to be in one, under one roof, and you can do it through technology that helps you scale. It is truly a beautiful thing. Now, I talked to a lot of advisors, and many advisors, even seasoned ones, still feel intimidated just at the thought of offering estate planning or bringing it in-house, or, they worry it's going to lead to complicated legal discussions. So what strategies, or maybe even language, have helped you keep these conversations with your clients simple, natural, confidence building, but in a way that you're not getting too down a rabbit hole that you never set out to get down in the first place by building a wealth management firm?
I think people go down the rabbit hole too much and maybe make more of it than it is. I think there's a lot of unnecessary anxiety from advisors and even from attorneys who feel like this is a no-go mission. You cannot have the unauthorized practice of law. And I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
But if you change your frame of reference, and your frame of reference is now I'm a teacher and a guide, it is my role as an advisor to sort the marketplace for you, provide you with education, and guide you to a solution. I think it just changes the conversation. So I love estate planning, and most people that come in the door do not have estate plans, or they have some will that's from 20 years ago when their kids were minors. And so you're not even coming close to the practice of law to tell them, by the way, have you heard of estate plans? Do you know the key documents that comprise an estate plan? And let me talk about your situation. Do you have a need for simple set of estate plans, or do you have a lot of complexities where some heavy lifting would come in? Now I've educated them on the documents they can expect and that they should have in place, and I'm guiding them to either a solution like trust and will, or I'm guiding them to a local attorney in their area based on their complexity to get it done. And at the end of the day, I just want it done for them. And so if you just guide them that process, it takes all the anxiety out of the situation from my point of view.
It absolutely does. I think that's a great way to put it, is you are the teacher, you are the guider, you're getting them to that point that they need to be in order to make this happen. And you're not the one doing that, right? You're not the one writing the legal language or telling them, hey, this is what you need. This is the type of trust you need with this type of component. You don't need to do any of that. That's what the technology does, which is so beautiful.
That's right.
Or the local attorney in your case. And I like that you kind of have both avenues for your clients, because it's important. Not everyone's going to fit in the same box, right? As you know very well. The last question I typically ask on the show to my guests, and feel free, whoever one of you wants to answer, is, for advisors who are just beginning to introduce estate planning, or again, maybe they're unsure, or they're wary about technology, what advice would you give to them based on what's worked well for you at Blend Wealth?
I can just tell you, in my 15 years of doing this, I started my career finding local attorneys and giving the referral time after time after time. And I would tell them, I will come to the meeting with you, but I can't book the meeting for you. I can't pay for it for you. But here, take this referral and go. And 9 times out of 10, the appointment was never made. Mm-hmm. And so when all these estate planning technologies came in, and we've evaluated a lot, and I firmly believe Trust and Will has the best balance in terms of user experience, frictionless questions to answer, and even that attorney support if needed. When we started offering Trust and Will, we went from like almost 1% taking our attorney referral to like 90% of our clients now having their estate plans in place and going through the process, because they don't have to leave our relationship and go form another relationship. They just continue the process through us. We're guiding them through the questions. When in doubt, we have some help menu buttons on the software, and we always have an attorney to fall back on if needed. And that has just allowed people to get through the process and get it done and check it off. And for me, that's been a game changer, especially the conversations that come out when you talk about estate transfer.
Absolutely. Those conversations are leading to even more ways to collaborate with your client, right? More business opportunities, more relationship building with next generation. That is.
I really feel like with investments and stuff, you really find out about like what goals someone wants to accomplish for themselves. But when you talk about estate transfer, you really find out where their heart is for their family and their community. And that just rounds out the wealth picture for us.
Yeah, and they're not going to leave anything off the table, right? It's all going to be put on the table because it's all important, and this is a big conversation. So much room for opportunity. And that's what we often say at Trust and Will, is estate planning is it's an opportunity opener in so many different ways. So I love that both of you are using Trust and Will in your business. I really appreciate that you have other avenues built in as well, that you've built something so just comprehensive, multidisciplinary approach. I respect it. And I just want to thank you both, because you've been awesome guests to have on today, and the first co-guests. So thank you so much for joining us, Tim and Alexis, and for all your contributions to the panel and all the content in the Learn Center. And if you don't know what the Learn Center is, feel free to scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen here. It'll take you to our website, but you can also hover over to the Learn Center. You'll see Tim in some articles. I know, Alexis, you're like right hand there with him with content. But again, it's the stories, it's the lived experiences that you're both sharing that really shape this profession and helps other advisors pick this up, hopefully listen into this interview and say, okay, I need to step it up. I need to improve a little bit. So thank you both for all of your time today.
You're welcome. And that's the goal. Continual improvement, not perfection.
Perfect. That is perfect right there. That statement. Thank you both. Take care.
Thank you.